To answer questions C2 and C3, we're going to make use of Excel's Scenario Manager. Now, in reality, we probably wouldn't use the Scenario Manager for such a limited worksheet and for considering just 3 simple changes. But for illustration purposes, it's a good start. So to begin with, we're going to select the Data tab up first, top. Then from there, select What If and the Scenario Manager. Notice we don't have any scenarios defined at this point, so we're going to hit Add. The first scenario we're going to add is a worst case, so type in worst. And we're going to change cell C4 because that's the tuition. We want to consider what happens if tuition is $360, what if it was $400, or what if it was $480. So again, C4 for the changing cell, hit OK, and under our worst case scenario, our tuition was going to be $360. We're going to add another scenario. Our base case scenario, and again, we're going to change cell C4, hit OK. Our base case was $400, and we're going to add finally a best case scenario. Best case, we again want to change cell C4, so we hit OK, and it is going to be, under best case, $480. Now that we've added a worst, best, and a base case scenario, we're going to click on the Summary button. Our Summary button allows us to say or select the input or output that we're interested in. We're interested in finding out how net operating income, or cell C17, changes under each one of these scenarios. So after we select the result cell C17, we hit OK. And notice we've got a new tab here, and we have under our various levels of tuition, worst, base, and best case, what would be the firm's net operating income. One thing we can see about our scenario summary, though, is relatively limited usefulness because we don't really know what cell we're changing and what the result is. In this case, we can remember, but if our scenario gets very complex, that wouldn't be the case. What can we do about that? Go back over to your Problem tab, and we're going to name some ranges. Go to cell D4, or C4 rather, right-click, and we're going to say Name the Range. It's going to pick up whichever over here to the left. Tuition seems like a great name for that cell, so hit OK. Down here for net operating income, let's name that range. Again, right-click, name the range, and it's naming it net operating income. Again, sounds good to me. Hit OK. Now, again, go back up to What If Analysis, Scenario Manager, Summary. Again, we want to know the summary, or how does cell C17 change, so we're going to hit OK. Now when we create a scenario summary table, notice it's telling us the cells that we're changing and also the results of the cell of the output. One more thing on our scenario or what if manager. Go back over to tab 40. Under our what if analysis, select Scenario Manager. Notice right now we've got our best case results. We can go and say select base case and then hit show and watch cell C4. It changes from 480 to 400. If we wanted to know the worst case, select worst and show, and now it shows the 360. Again, if we only have one input variable we're changing, it's not a big deal to do it by hand, but if we had 5 or 6 input variables that we were changing at a time for our best case, worst case scenarios, you can see how it might be useful to use this show button to change things. All right, let's go ahead and edit this, and this time we're going to include 2 variables in our scenario. So, edit, worst case, we're going to change both cells C4 and we're going to change our variable cost C5. Hit OK. Now our variables were going to be, in this case, 360 and 216. We'll hit OK. Then we can edit the base case and edit the best case, and we can show and create a summary showing what would happen if we changed both of these at once.